What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Shopper channel coming to you with a Monday edition of NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Was pretty light in terms of NBA over the weekend. Had a little bit of action on Saturday. Sunday, I was focused on making sure I got the Discord some goodies. We ended up having a couple of receiving props there for tight ends that came to fruition. Hi, Dawson Knox. Hi, Pat Fryermuth. Felt really good there. Ended up hitting a Jeremy McNichols anytime touchdown. That's a normal thing to hit at plus 300 there for Washington. Yeah, totally normal. And then another part of it, George Kittle ended up a lock there. You don't care about that, though. We're going to be talking NBA, the ins and outs of a 5-game slate where every game starts at 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Going to be easy for me to give you updated information. If you have questions about any of my plays, the leans, the likes, the locks, hit me up on X at Eric Lindquist. Would be happy to let you know exactly where I end up landing on some of this stuff. Because again, I should have plenty of time to update that an hour and a half prior. Lots of injury news, lots of things that popped up here though. So we'll talk about 365 later. We'll talk tails later. Producer Jacob, without further ado, let's get to the picks. Don't know why I did the Clayton Kershaw lefty fastball. That was a weird thing to do. Coming up, we'll use my mom kissing a girl. Yeah, I'm not tough. Cleveland, they're pretty tough. -7.5 here going into Chicago. Good Lord Almighty. I mean, what is this team doing right now other than just smashing souls? Now, they did play like their most competitive game in quite some time there. Of course, it was against Brooklyn. Like, why wouldn't it be against Brooklyn? But I think this is a Chicago team getting Zach LaVine back. I expect him to be playing here yet again. That they're going to have to up the variance in some kind of way, shape, or form. And what do I mean by that? Because we haven't really had this discussion. There's lots of NBA teams when they know that they're dogs that are going to go out and shoot more threes than they typically do from time to time. It's something we've seen more and more in recent years. There's data to support such things. It also is something that I take a look at from a projection standpoint. It was Chicago playing at the #1 pace in all of basketball to start off this season. I think we see them go out and try to do a little bit more chucking here and there in this spot. I repeat, though, Chicago, 105.4 possessions per 48 minutes. It's starting to slide down, but it was at asinine, like 108, 110 levels in a couple of these games. And against Cleveland, oh, you better be knocking down shots. I will be interested in Chicago 3-point props, but I'm actually interested in Caris LeVert because there's two things going on with him right now. One, he's closing competitive games over Isaac Okoro. We just saw that against Brooklyn. So that's a good out to have. Number two is that he closes instead of Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland in some spots. So the usage could look better if you get in some of these blowouts on a 7.5, 8.5 spread. It's nice to know that you're kind of immune to some of these absolute torchings that you run into from blowouts in other spots. Like if it's a 25-point game, yeah, they can go to Sam Merrill. They'll have Ty Jerome come in and send it. It'll be really wild. But I look at this line, plus 130 on Caris LeVert over 1.5 threes against a Chicago team that overall, with Ayo Dosunmu not starting right now, there's worse defense that's out there from time to time. Now, if it closes, there's chances Ayo Dosunmu can be out there in 15, 20-point type game scripts. But either way, this is plus 130. Caris LeVert, one of the better off-the-bench pieces that we have in the NBA, especially with guys like Malik Monk dinged up. Ooh, we'll get to that one too. Again, that's just a lean for right now, thinking about betting it. Speaking of, I am looking at Washington, I'm looking at Houston, and good Lord Almighty. This one's a little bit terrifying to me. I threw this out there last time because, again, I'm modeling all of this stuff, and there are ways that you can kind of throw out exactly how you think these games are going to roll. So let me do this yet again for you. I normally don't dig into this part of it while I'm updating, but here we go. It is 126. That is 226, excuse me. Math is good. 226 for a total. And then I am looking at Houston being 10.5-point favorites or better. So right in that 10.8 range. So I'm not sure where this line opens at. That's kind of where I've got it. I don't think it's going to be shocking to anybody here that Washington's going to be a big dog in some spot. Plus, these are the kind of spots for Washington where, yeah, we're going to see some annihilation. They're on a back-to-back. We saw Orlando put the absolute gauntlet down on them. And there was a little bit of injury news to be paying attention to in this one. Let me find that here. So many things. Bub Carrington, right wrist contusion came down on it in that game. Kyle Kuzma still out. Malcolm Brogdon still out. And now Carrington potentially going to be out for this one. It's going to get dicey, friends. I think you're going to have to start Corey Kispert. I think that makes the most sense. They could go Jared Butler. They could go Patrick Baldwin if they really wanted to as well. Makes me think of Team America. Some people don't know what I'm talking about. But Bilal Coulibaly is kind of a guy to keep an eye on here. He had a ridiculous first half, and I think that there are going to be certain game scripts where he's still in this in a blowout. Again, they don't have to play on Tuesday. They've played a back-to-back here, all right? They're not going to have to play 3 days in a row. And I think Washington's one of those teams where there's a lot of iterations of starting lineups, but I doubt we get props until Carrington's, until we understand exactly what's going on with him. With him in, yeah, this would be kind of an interesting one to stay away from, but there's ways that if I'm able to get invested in points plus rebounds, I think that there's certain iterations. Let me double check what I have him in for. 13 and 7. Yeah, the rebound opportunity goes up if Alex Sarr ends up your starter, and against Houston, probably does. Jonas Valanciunas, not somebody who should be out there guarding Alperen Sengun. He will torch him, which is just what J-Val gets torched. He's a big guy, but very, very bad at the defense. I'm actually looking at Bilal Coulibaly, big plus money, double-double. That's something that I'm kind of interested in based on previous data. Now, he hasn't had a double-double here in forever, so just pointing that one out. I don't think he's had one this entire season, but we've seen 8, 9 rebounds in spots where Jonas Valanciunas is not sharing the floor with him as much. Yes, it's a back-to-back. Yes, they could limit his minutes. Yes, they could go to more bench pieces, and there is tons of blowout potential, but if it stays intact, he's got a chance to smash at some of these prospective numbers. You want to know exactly where I land on a guy like Bilal Coulibaly? Of course you do, as well as the Karis LeVert play, some of the Bulls three-pointers. I'm not sure where I'm going to land. We are going to go like coming up here very, very shortly, so you'll get to see those plays for sure. The Discord will already have them here, but you can check out everything I have in that Discord for free. Eric's Tales package. There are 5 pick'em sites on the left. There are 5 sportsbooks on the right, and Rebet, a sportsbook, sweepstakes sportsbooks that is available in 47 of the 50 United States of America. Great opportunity to sign up and get everything that I have to offer there in Tales for free, as well as some of these sign-up offers. So there are 4 easy steps you can follow there on your screen. Take screenshots of that welcome email and first settled bet and email support@oddshopper.com. Would love to see you there. Alrighty, y'all, back to the picks we go. And we begin the plays here. Brooklyn taking on New Orleans in this one, and we have some more lines. That makes life a little bit easier. Less injury news that we have to prospectively think about, but we do have to pay attention to some rates because Zion Williamson on the New Orleans side, he's out indefinitely, and this guy is just, he is unlucky. Indefinitely, I just put him out until 2025. I'm not even going to think about him here at this point, but we have to think about what these rotations are going to look like because Jose Alvarado's been playing great. Undersized, but defensively, he's so good still that it doesn't matter. He'll be out on the floor and now starting to knock down shots. Brandon Boston Jr., a cast-off from the Clippers once upon a time, now playing massive minutes here in New Orleans because you still have DeJounte Murray, CJ McCollum, Herb Jones, and Jordan Hawkins out here for this one. Brandon Ingram, Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, and Yves Messi, those are going to be your starting 5 more than likely here. That's what they've been rolling out. They'll have minutes for Antonio Reeves and Jalen Noel. And I've ran a bunch of stuff here, and it does not look good for them here at home against Brooklyn. Now, Brooklyn, they're not exactly healthy themselves. Bojan's still out, Trendon Watford out, Day'Ron Sharpe out, but Ben Simmons comes back. Not sure if they want to start him, though, and that's kind of where I'm prospectively playing this. I would love if they stay with this same core 5 that's been playing decent. I would say a pretty decent output from them. You saw them play a competitive game against Cleveland, pretty much the only team that's played a competitive game against Cleveland. I guess the only concern that I have here is that Brooklyn's just not very good. And you get up against a team like New Orleans, and there are just so many ranges of outcomes. Like, it wouldn't shock me if either team blew out either team. It's just one of those days where you don't want to wake up. Everybody's effed up. Everybody sucks, but you don't know why, but you want to justify playing Dennis Schroeder over 23.5 points plus assists. Keep Ben Simmons off the floor. Please do not start him. I don't want to see him starting. However, I've already played this. I don't think they'll start him going forward, and that creates more opportunities for those assists. And again, the usage isn't the issue with Ben Simmons. It's pretty much the other ancillary things that come along with it. Dennis Schroeder, over 23.5 points plus assists. I like this number at open. By the way, that was a -115 over at BetMGM or Bet365. Damn good find. Sock it to me one more time. Already did that this show. I apologize. But welcome to the lock portion of this program. Clippers, plus 10.5, taking on Oklahoma City. And we're about to do something just absolutely insane. We are. We're going to do it right now. We're going to lock against Oklahoma City. But if you missed the news, if you missed what happened today, Chet Holmgren got wheeled to the locker room with a leg injury. I don't know what to make of it. Nobody knows what to make of it, but I would be absolutely shocked if he was playing basketball tomorrow. Absolutely shocked. Again, it did not look good. I didn't see anything beyond just the initial injury for it. It sounds like it's a hip, which would be better than most things that it could end up being, as long as it's not, like a hip. Again, if it's a hip pointer, just keep him out for a game. Just let him sit on the sidelines. But numbers are still open for this at 10.5, and they haven't really adjusted yet. And I don't understand why. We're talking about one of the most impactful players so far in the NBA. I mean, we were seeing like a huge second-year leap here for Chet Holmgren, technically third if we want to be partial about it. But he had the Laz Frank, whatever. It's the same Travis Etienne injury that existed once upon a time. And defensively, I have him ranked as the best defender in the NBA so far, plus 3.3 over at dunks and threes per 100 possessions. He's 100th percentile. It's hard to be better than that. Was averaging a crazy amount of blocks, adding a little bit of steals to go with it here. Had a great defensive rebound rate. Oh yeah, and it's not a great rebounding team as is. Enter the Los Angeles Clippers. Well, that's something that they actually excel at here, because Ivica Zubac should be able to do whatever he wants. He is playing 37, 38 minutes a night because they don't want Kai Jones out there playing any type of minutes, because I don't know if you've watched Kai Jones. He's not very good, but Ivica Zubac is, and I think this is just a prime spot to take advantage of a number that for whatever reason has not been moving to account for the injury news. This should be inside of 10 instantly. I've got this closer to 7.5. It could look even worse because, again, you're taking one of the most impactful players so far off the floor. Ousmane Dieng is going to have to play big minutes for this team. They might have to find somebody else out of the G League here. I'm not sure who they could end up going and finding here. I know Dylan Jones is somebody that could end up having to play some 5 here. It's going to have to be forcing small ball lineups for the sake of small ball lineups, and Oklahoma City's on the back-to-back here. Everything is lining up for this to be a Clippers plus 10.5 play, so it's a Clippers plus 10.5 play. Ivica Zubac, annihilation. No numbers open for this one yet, obviously, because we're waiting on the Chet stuff, but I don't think he plays. That is really, really good for the Clippers. Hopefully Chet isn't that dinged up, because I love this Oklahoma City team, but I do not love them in this spot on Monday. Gotta love Bet365 all the time, though. Bet 5, get 150 in bonus bets down at the link below. If you're in one of these 11 states, boing, you got North Carolina. Come on and raise up. Take your shirt off, twist it around your head, spin it like a helicopter. Lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff for Bet365. If you are in one of those states, you go to the link below. You bet $5 on anything, and you'll get 150 in bonus bets. It's only if you're 21 and over. If you have a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. One more pick. Let's get to it. We've talked about a lot of prospective props. I don't have any prospective props in this one as of yet, other than, hey, Victor Wembanyama. Been on some unders of assists from him recently from Portfolio EV. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, and you want to be signed up at the link below, because it is going off the hizzy right now. Friday, probably the first losing day I've had utilizing Portfolio EV in the last few. It is the crown jewel of Odd Chopper, and if you want to be checking it out, you want to be checking it out in the NBA streets, because it is bearing massive amounts of fruit. But this is also a spread that I just like. Sacramento taking on San Antonio in this spot. And this is Sacramento on a back-to-back, so I get it. Malik Monk also dinged up. I get it. Kevin Huerter playing out of his mind. I get it. But all of that being said, I'm a little bit surprised to see only one here on the Sacramento side. And you know by now, I'm not a Sacramento stan by any means. But when you start talking about these type of numbers, when it starts to get extended to this range, I have to take shots. Because, again, San Antonio, other than Victor Wembanyama, who's been awesome, they do get Devin Vassell back, but he's coming off the bench here for the time being, and Keldon Johnson's been okay. They're still missing Trey Jones. You're still looking at a number of different pieces, and Jeremy Sohan, who's going to be out here for some time. I mean, it's still a little bit of a diluted lineup there on that side of things. I think everybody plays for Sacramento on this back-to-back, and that's just kind of leading me to them being like closer to 2.5, and it's not there right now. Competitive game. I will back the Sacramento side in these. Yeah, I mean, this is just such a weird line to me, just based on some of the modeling early in the season. Don't go crazy with this one, just a half unit. But, Sacramento. Don't always like going and betting teams that I don't like in the first place. But San Antonio is so bad defensively right now, even with Wembanyama out there, that I got to take a shot. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on this 5-game NBA slate we got before us. Check out Bet365. Check out Tails as well. Would love to have you there in the Discord. Again, ended up having the Discord get a slam for a little bit of Sunday goodness. That was useful. We needed that one for sure. But we'll be talking through all the ins and outs of NFL coming into Monday night, into Thursday night. If you want to be a part of that, check out that Discord down below. It's $10 if you sign up, or sorry, $20 for a week, $50 for a month. Would love to have you there. But if you sign up with one of those 11 sites completely free to you, just go to the link below. Check out that offer. Alrighty, y'all. Until next time, thank you, producer Jacob. I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Monday night.